All right, guys, welcome back to this week's podcast of Off the Cuff. Today, I would like to invite Huba, who I have known for more than 3 years now. He was one of my soundboards during my campus years and played a very big role, particularly with AIESEC. And it's a privilege to host him.
Thank you.
I think you'll talk about AIESEC in your own journey. So it is something I never told you while listening to your stories. Like, they actually give me hope. I thought that I could actually make campus like my own oyster, and it's what you actually experience and what you make of it.
Okay.
So karibu sana to
Thank
Off the
you.
Cuff. Very excited to hear about your 20s journey. Please include everything from your personal finance to your relationships to how they've evolved to family, career. I know now you have another business.
Yes.
Yeah, and just any successes and failures that have been in between. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Elsie, for inviting me here. It's actually my maiden podcast, so this is quite, surreal. I've been listening to podcasts, and it's actually timely because I'm turning 45 years next week. Yeah, so thank you so much. My name is Duncan Maluku. A lot of people don't know that name, especially because it was birthed in campus when I went to Moi University. So Huba, where did Huba come from? So Huba was a nickname, Habakkuk. Yes, I know. So a lot of people thought that my loudness in the university was a mask for something. And so the locals would always ask me after a tirade of, protests or shoutings, nawe kijana unaitwa nani? And then I'll be Habakkuk. But because they are from Bonde la Ufa, then they will be at Habakkuk.
Oh.
Yes. And then that's how the name Huba was actually birthed. Okay. And I stuck with it. I actually lost political seat in campus because nobody knew Huba was there. And then my opponents, or who Huba was, and my opponents used that to actually state on the eve of the elections that I had stepped out.
Oh my.
Yes. So when the next elections, I actually swore an affidavit and put Huba, and I won. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's me. I am an entrepreneur. I've been in the journey of entrepreneurship since I left the university. I only did a stint once for 6 months at the right now that it's called Can Invest. It's a government agency that deals with attracting both domestic and international investments in the country. So it was under the auspices of a man I really admire, Dr. Julius Kipngetich. Currently is the CEO of Jubilee Group Holdings. But he actually brought in a number of us after campus just to do what you call reverse mentorship. Reverse mentorship in the workspace. Because at the time, they were digitizing their systems and processes, and only one person in the entire company had a computer. So he brought a number of us from the university to come and teach the entire stuff on how to digitize. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm married, 3 kids, 2 boys. One is 12 years. The other one is 8 years. And then our daughter, the apple of my eye, who's 3 turning 4. Yes. And so my journey, I guess, as a serial entrepreneur, started, as I said, after the university. So I must have been around 24 or 25 thereabout. But because we are speaking about the 20s.
Yeah.
I normally like saying many years ago.
Many years ago.
It was always my dream to be an international citizen. In fact, prior to the university, I used to be the person who would perennially get my friends to the airport as they were leaving the country. Yes, I was that guy.
You were manifesting it.
I was manifesting it. I used to say, from Africa, there was a country or a continent called Europe. And then after Europe, there was heaven.
Oh, wow.
So in that particular order. And so anyone traveling to Europe or to the Americas was nearer heaven. But of course, as fate would have it, my dream came true. By the time I was 28 and covered Europe, was actually just yet another part of the world as we know it. It's just more developed, but they breathe. They, have everything that we do from a natural point of view. Yes. Yeah. So a campus. So I get into the university. I was in Moi University.
Yeah.
From 1999.
Hey. Hey. We're sorry.
Yeah. So that explains why these days I call myself vintage. Because from 1999 to the year 2003, I was studying Bachelor of Arts in sociology, something that I've probably not used professionally because of my journey and immersion into AIESEC.
Yeah.
So I never got the opportunity to fly out after high school, like majority of my friends, owing to two reasons. My parents didn't have the amount of money to send me there.
Yeah.
And secondly, my attempts to register and apply for scholarships all came to naught. I applied for about 20 scholarships. By the time I was going to the university, I got none.
First of all, I commend you for the hard work.
Yes.
I didn't have that vision. Oh my gosh, as I'm saying, like, where were you at this point?
And we used to write letters.
Oh, yeah.
We never had internet. And so it was all about getting a prospectus of the universities in the US and making, physical applications. And then you'd receive the responses with, declining, or, guys will say we are at this time we're not providing for that.
And this is wait.
This was 90s, between 97 and 99.
Okay, and at this time when you're submitting the letter, are you saying submitting it to the ministry or the poster?
I used to post with stamps. And where did I get the money to do this?
Exactly.
Because my folks didn't give me money to post letters. After high school, my friends were very ambitious. So we needed to fund our bad habits. We wanted to go out, but without money, we'll not be able to fund this, habits. So I approached a neighbor of ours who used to work for Smith Klein Beecham. That time it was called, these days it's called Glaxo.
I have zero idea.
And I asked her to plug me in any job that would just pay me for something. So this is the period between, after clearing high school and going to the university. And so I worked for a year, 6 days a week, packing medicine. And I'm talking about Panadol, Malaria Queen, Ribena, all that entire range of medication.
Yeah.
And it was an eye opener for me in terms of my work ethic, because we used to work night shifts for 13 and a half hours every single day from Monday to Saturday. In fact, if it wasn't for my conniving way of just finding some balance, it was meant to be Monday to Sunday.
Jesus.
But because I was a young man, every Sunday I would fall sick. But really, I was just hungover.
I get that.
I was hungover. But that experience in itself was quite profound, because it taught me that, one, I was the master of my own destiny. And number two, the value of hard work. That it doesn't matter where you come from, what matters is what you've put yourself to do, what you've set yourself to do. So I was liquid when, before going to the university.
Yeah.
And even at that time, I got to learn that once, the value of money and how to spend it prudently. So I used to earn 13,500 shillings. That was my first pay.
That's a lot of money that time.
It was quite a tidy sum. 13,500.
In 1990, it was
in 19,
17, something,
yes,
18.
I was 18.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And so out of that money, every month I would shop for my parents at our home, normal groceries and everything. And then I would ensure that I budget for my transport to work and back. And then for my own, sort of use, personal use. So it taught me budgeting. It taught me the value of ensuring that the home has to be managed with whatever monies come from it. And to ensure that even as I grew up, that my parents, I set myself up for making sure that I would sort out their groceries, which I do till today.
As a provider, you did. And
yes,
we can't complain.
I was the first one. So, and some people will be asking me, why are you doing that? I mean, your father has worked and he has retired. Your mom is doing business. And I told them, guys, there's something that happens when you honor your parents. And parents, once you honor them, they will always pray for you.
Yeah.
So, and I believe in that fully because my life really has been just a work of grace, nothing more. A work of grace and hard work.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've finished with SmithKline, Beecham, packaging medicine. I've gone to Moi University.
Yeah.
It was my first time to board. So I went to Highway Secondary School, which was a day school.
Yeah.
So I'd never boarded ever in my life. Then I go to this village university. I used to. It was the longest trip of my life. I had never been anywhere near or beyond Nakuru. And now I'm going past Nakuru, almost double the distance. And I get there, it was raining. We got there early in the morning around 4:00. Dew was covering us. And we're supposed to be signing up for lessons and lectures. And I just told myself, my God, please, if I ever get out of this place alive and well, then I know you truly exist. Yes. Yeah. So got into campus. First year was a roller coaster because the first semester, by the time the first semester was over, we had actually been sent home because of striking. And part of the people who are sort of being fronted is the people who are noisemakers. And some of us, of course, were in that clique. But we were agitating for things that were very dear to us as students. And I don't think that there was anything wrong in being a voice of hope, a voice of reason to the administration, and just working hard to push our agenda.
This is first year.
This is first year.
This is
semester. Yes. And the likes of, the current senator for Siaya, Moses Kajwang, was actually one of our student leaders. Omar Hassan, the UDA, he had actually been expelled from Moi University the same year I joined.
Yeah.
So we had some guys who influenced our journey into student leadership. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because by the time I was in second year, I'd actually run for student leadership.
Hey, focus. Focused young man. Uh-huh.
I'd run for student leadership. The docket was communications and entertainment director. So we ran a very spirited campaign. Spirited. It's like if you've ever seen people who, crossed the rivers and went to the mountaintops. It was me and my team. I had such a big crew behind me. And the only reason why we managed to run such a campaign with very little money is because we were passionate about the kind of life that we espoused to have in the university.
Yeah.
We had a university where the toilets, just the toilets, the ablution blocks were filthy when I joined university. It was at the same time when campus had started this parallel program. Parallel program doubled the number of students in terms of the intake. So the university had not expanded their facilities, yet they accommodated all of us in this same space where, so everything was overwhelmed from the lecture halls to the facilities to you name it. Everything was overwhelmed. But because we had a group of, comrades that knew what they wanted, and we came from all walks of life. Yeah. It was such a cosmopolitan university. The college really shaped me to have a national approach. So most of my friends, believe you me, are not Kamba. No. I have friends and close confidants who are not even anywhere near my community. Yes. And those are my family, outside of my own block of family. So second year we ran. And the only reason why we were defeated is simply because
of your name.
Of my name.
Wait, why didn't you guys do? I know us used to be incentivized with eggs and sweets. What did you guys use? It was just purely policy and what you want to change.
No. Students will not be incentivized by policy.
They won't.
They will be incentivized by a dream. So we went campaigning with, just that hope that should Huba come in, then their lives
will change.
Especially their entertainment life. It will be just out of this world. We would have more discos, more activities in campus. We'll be able to bring in, the traveling theater, stuff that, students would be engaged in a creative space.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I was running against someone who was in third year. I was in second year.
Yeah.
And he defeated me by, I think, 200 votes. 200 votes. But because I was a darling especially to the ladies.
Yeah.
Then it was an easy sell because those same ladies were the ones who went and propped the dudes
to vote for
me.
you.
Yes, yes. And it was always a tough ask, especially because of, my inexperience in politics.
Yeah.
But I've been a leader. I've been in high school. I was a sports captain of my high school. I was in the basketball team. So leadership has always been in my vein.
And rooted.
Yes.
Yeah.
So third year, I joined AIESEC.
Yeah.
Joining AIESEC was the most interesting part of my student career, student journey.
Yeah.
If I had not joined AIESEC, chances are that I would have been quite, I would say, a mundane human.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had formed by the time I was in second year, we had formed together with, like-minded comrades, our own entertainment club. It was called Pambazuka. So the highlight of Pambazuka was bringing the famous ridiculous Nyambane, Mwangare, KJ.
Yeah.
We brought them to Eldoret for a performance. Yeah.
You scored them. How?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, they were in KU.
And then?
In the university. We were in Moi University. They were just, they wanted to crisscross the country to showcase their prowess and their craft.
Yeah.
And so when it was so easy to just reach out to them, hey guys, we're having, something in Eldoret. I said, come. So we went, we performed at Eldoret Stadium together with them. It was quite the ride, I must say. But that is how ambitious we were. Yes.
Wow.
And the reason why we formed that club is because we were bored in the university. So we said we have to create our own fun the way we know it. And, Pambazuka made its mark in the university by being able to provide entertainment, not only for, within the university precincts, but also outside of the university. And I'll give you an example. There was a dinner at Sirikwa Hotel. At the time, Sirikwa was everything in Eldoret. Yeah. The big wigs were there. So we performed something called a candle dance.
What?
A candle dance by the pool at night. Yes. I'm yet to even see that these days. We were that creative. And we were paid good money for it that we used to, pay ourselves and make sure that the club is running. And that's it. Costumes and everything notwithstanding. So AIESEC leaders at the time said, this guy would be such a plus if we were to poach him.
Yeah.
Yes. So now that's the other thing about, being good at your craft. They sent the head of human resource at the time to my room with 2 beers.
Soften the mood first.
Soften the mood. So she comes to my room. She talks about this student organization that is just in 90 countries in the world. It's all about peace and fulfillment of humankind potential. And she says they have got conferences, both local and international. Now remember that international boy.
Yes.
So I said, this is an answered prayer.
This is from God.
This is from God.
Yeah.
For sure. So she tells me 2 weeks' time, there's a conference in Nanyuki, a place called Bantu Lodge. And the clincher is that it's going to cost me only 1,000 shillings. Transport, the meals, accommodation, and back. Of course, it was a tented conference. But she assured me that I was going to have access to very lovely girls from University of Nairobi and USIU.
That was it.
So
Dominican Vim.
I paid the 1,000 shillings right there. I think I bought her beer. And off we went.
Yeah.
And that set off my AIESEC journey. After that conference, I was the loudest, of course, because I was championing for a decent food. Guys, obviously, you don't know how to sort out people. Sorry, guys. But by the end of it, the kind of content that we had consumed, the kind of learning that we had been given, the kind of inspiration that had been, impacted on us, then it was a no-brainer that I needed to ditch Pambazuka, a club that I started, and go and be a member of AIESEC.
Yeah.
But unknown to me at the time, the leadership that was leaving was very clear that they wanted me to be in the leadership. So this was just a stepping stone for me to learn. And that's how I got now to learn the, organization skills. Yeah. They got me to, because they believed I was very good with people. So any activities around recruitment, retainment were being thrown to me. So my predecessor, who sadly passed on when we were in 4th year, She got into a car accident together with a set of twins. She actually passed a day after handing over to me, after transitioning to me. They got in a grisly car accident. I was a student leader. I had to go and identify her body. And 2 days later, we had to bury her. Yeah, so that was one of the lowest moments of my life. Completely, like having to go and identify people who are dear to me. But you see, being a student leader, it calls for you to man up and do this kind of uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
So my AIESEC journey, one of the key highlights of my AIESEC journey while in Moi University was how to navigate politics, even within the leadership. I remember there was a time when we were only 4. Our team was made up of only 4 portfolios. We didn't have 6 portfolios. And out of the 4 portfolios, there was a time we actually got into a heated argument. And 2 of us resigned. Because we were on the opposite, like our ideals were just on the opposite side. I was very concerned about and passionate about the membership. So the investment, I believe that the investment of the association should have been more towards recruitment and retaining the students, the membership. So a key highlight is that we were able to recruit and 64 paid up members.
That's a big thing.
It's huge.
That's huge. Even today.
To the point where just to keep people busy, we had to organize them into virtual local chapters. So a chapter within a chapter.
Yeah.
Yes. And we would hold them accountable just like any other, local chapter from its leadership, activities, reports, everything, trainings. So it was quite something. It was a feat that I don't think has ever been achieved.
Huba.
It's true. Okay. I dare you to go and go.
Sawa, aikubali.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. One of the things that also helped us navigate our time in AIESEC and even as a student leader was the ability to leverage on the student leadership to propagate the AIESEC activities. So I'm a student leader in charge of entertainment. Then AIESEC had to be the most coolest student body.
Organization.
Yes, in the university. So that helped us to maintain, we had party delegates, over 40 of them. This is outside of the official.
The paid ones, registered members.
So we had some other 40 guys there whose work was just to come and create fun and make the association as much as fun as possible.
Yeah.
And that thing has been with me since then. Yeah. So we've got a huge number of people. I remember the time we also managed to take out our very first trainee to India. A gentleman called Otiato. I hope I can be able to, float his name. We are proud of him because he was amongst the very few students that have actually gone out for a traineeship from Moi University while they were still in campus. Yeah. Right now he's somewhere in the US. That's how his, international journey started and yes, thrived. And thrived. Yeah. So another highlight is just the fact that we used to carry out a lot of marketing calls. That really helped us to engage all sorts of partnerships. And we never, at any one time thought because we are in Eldoret, most of the companies, the good and solid companies that are in Eldoret are in Nairobi.
Yeah.
The decision making is being done in Nairobi.
Yeah.
We really didn't care. What we cared about was what we can be able to do with what we have.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we would go, we would visit we would go and strive to talk to the leadership of most of these companies.
Yeah.
So if it's a branch manager of say KCB, that is the person that we would strive to meet.
Yeah.
And it starts from the watchman.
Yeah.
How do you talk to him? How do you persuade him that you as a student have got something of value that the branch manager would want
To hear. Yeah.
Yes. And most of these guys would be so impressed just by the sheer, audacity.
Yeah.
That you're coming to me and you're telling me that you can help me register or sign up, new bank, customers.
Yeah.
Like, yes. I mean, we've got access to 5,000 students, and all of them right now are on Post Bank. Because that was the only bank that the government used to pay out the student loans.
The help.
Yes. So we will convince them that as soon as the student has been paid their loan, then that loan needs, from there needs to be transferred to a KCB account where someone can use an ATM.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because Post Bank had no
the
ATM. No, it had books. You'd have to queue for a whole day just to access your money. It was a pain. But that through that pain, we kind of got to learn some basic things that helped us to navigate our journey into, either entrepreneurship or into the careers.
Yeah.
So in fact, a lot of my friends decided to go to work for companies. And we have a number of them outside of the country, and a number of them are here locally.
Good.
Yeah. So that was my, my journey in the university. Now, in all this chaos, it was very difficult and very complicated to actually maintain a relationship. So I remember in second year, I actually dated a girl who was in third year.
Hey.
Yes. Because I needed someone, in my view, who was a bit more mature and more, not as jumpy as I was.
Okay.
So she was in fact, we were never seen public.
That can be a red flag and a green flag at the same time. Huba.
It depends.
Her
character was not of, public display.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was very clear. She didn't want that kind of attention, unnecessary attention. And she let me just be. I was just a young man. I'd usurped all her energy and the energy of like 50 other students.
Okay, makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we would meet, then it was a place of peace, calm, and just to tie me down, literally,
breathe
until the next day. Yeah. So I was with her second year, third year. So third year, she was in fourth year. She left. Then when I was in fourth year, there's a girl that was a fresher. So we went for Gold Rush. And it was so tough and complicated.
Yeah.
Why? Because I was a student leader.
Yeah.
She was just a fresher.
Yeah.
And so for most of the time, she was always thinking, what are people going to say about her character?
Yeah.
Going out with this fourth year, is she after this guy because he has a bit of influence,
and
money. And so it was very, very challenging just for me to have a healthy relationship at the time. So it didn't last very long. And even and for me, I was too busy. I was busy with many other things and trying to make sure that I also finish my degree.
Yeah.
Remember, I was the first one in the entire family, both from my maternal side and my paternal side, to go to a public university.
Congrats.
Yes.
That's a big feat.
So it's a big feat.
You're the one who's setting the pace for everyone else.
But remember, I'm doing everything else apart from class. I'm busy with AIESEC. I'm busy with student politics.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that negotiating for or on behalf of a group, and in this case for me, I used to negotiate very hard with the student, with the administration. And the only person who I could talk to and convince was not the dean of students, because we had a love-hate relationship with him, but it was the vice chancellor. Yes, the
top dog.
So both vice chancellors, because we had two vice chancellors at the time. So from the time I got into campus, and then the first one left when we were in third year. So in fourth year, there was another one. And, driving hard bargains, because they're like, no, students are just supposed to be here to study. So whatever it is that you are telling us to do, or to finance, or to articulate, is really secondary. But you see, we were ahead of our time. We were ambitious.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to do a cultural week, the budget was 3 million shillings at the time, and we demanded for it.
And you got it?
Of course.
Oh my gosh. What gave you that confidence every other time? And was it like you're the one who led it, or even just having people who are resonating with what you want? Like, how did you always have that confidence to do things?
So my mind used to run very fast. So at night, I would probably sleep for 3 hours, but between the time I'm sleeping and the time I'm waking up, I've already conjured things that I thought would or deemed to be otherwise impossible. Then I meet with my kitchen cabinet, because I had a kitchen cabinet, and then I would run the ideas. Then they would even bring more ideas.
Yeah.
And then with the ideas came strategy. If we don't get this, then how do we go about getting it? Or getting the other? So you drive a hard bargain. So you start at 6 million and give a budget, and you actually justify why you need 6 million.
Yeah.
And then from there,
it starts coming
down. And then you reach a compromise. Say, with 3 million, it's fine. And they allocate the money to you. You have your team. You make sure that monies are dispensed and accounted for. And you make sure that you have a memorable cultural week that students will always remain talking about. Yes. So that was quite, a learning point for me. And I think for anyone who is young and you're just sitting in campus thinking that you have no influence or you can't do anything simply because you're a student, I dare challenge you that this is the best time for you to explore and do things that you never thought would be possible. Why? Because out here, after the university, you'll always be limited by certain things. You'll be limited by money. You'll be limited by authority. You'll be limited by influence. You'll be limited even by by other walls that will make you not be able to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
But in the university,
bang doors.
Do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. So very exciting time up at the university. I graduated, but before I graduated, I was called for disciplinary. Yes. And the reason why I was called for disciplinary, and it's the first time my parents have ever been called to school because of me. Remember, I was a prefect in primary and secondary school. Now I'm a student leader. But we had a dean of students, and because we had crossed paths, he never wanted me to graduate. So I realized again, if you offend the authorities up to a certain point,
they flap back.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And they do that when you're alone. Because I was called for this disciplinary after we had finished campus. So around the time of preparing to come to graduate.
That's when you were called.
Yes. And what was the charge? The charge was that the guy who was my chief campaigner had actually punched my opponent's chief campaigner and broke his jaw.
What is that?
So,
what is that? That's not a reason for you not to graduate.
Yes. What? So apparently, according to the constitution of the university, in the event that my chief campaigner is involved in misdemeanor activities, then I am liable.
Okay.
So it is my duty to make sure that my team is as, they have to be as legal, they have to do things the right way.
Well-grounded.
And, any mistakes, then I will be court-joined.
Okay.
It was a loophole that the university used. But of course, after 5 attempted cases, because the so-called victim never appeared for even one of them, the case was dismissed.
Okay.
But you can imagine my old father coming to the university to hear a case that was really, really conjured up to frustrate me. And as I was doing that, I was working. So I needed to take leave from 20's, because that's where we were interns, interning at the time, to go for a case. And I had to pay for my dad's fare, I had to pay for his accommodation and back home. And that really frustrated me. But it's also a lesson when I think back that even the causes that you aspire for, you need to know that the consequences you shall face them alone. So a crowd can be behind you, but as a leader, just know that the consequences, you'll face them.
Lonely at the top.
It is lonely. But interesting times. So I've finished university. I've graduated. Actually, second class honor.
Hey.
You don't know how that I managed that.
Without going to classes, but everything else was your degree.
Everything else was, yes. Got into Ken Invest. At the time, it was called Investment Promotion Center. And I was there for 6 months. And during that time, we were, like I said, helping people who are much older than us. And people who had PhDs, people who had masters, but they had never touched a computer in their lives. And to transform their work from paper
to actually digital.
Yes. To the point where drivers used to get their work orders. You had to log in the morning when you come to work for you to know your schedule. That's what we did. So I'm very proud of that journey. It opened me to government workings because it was a government agency. And I got to attend a lot of, the international congresses that were here for investment promotion. And it also there, I managed to create some very good networks within government.
Nice.
And some of them are now directors, big bosses within the government circles. It was 20 years ago.
Huba still, naongelesha mtu mkubwa sana, you don't feel it. Oh, it's really good.
Yeah. It's what you do wherever you are, and the impact that you leave with people that enables them to have a first, hand or memory of you. So what I'm trying to say is that your social capital, you need to start drilling it from a very young age. Yes. Because till today, I speak to my professor, who was Professor Raphael Munavu, the VC of Moi University. At that time, we were a first call basis.
Yeah.
And, twice in a year, we'll call each other and say, young man. He still calls me young man. Where are you in this world? Are you going to this? I know someone. Go and say hi. But yeah, so one thing that we've built very well, or I've built very well, is my social capital.
Yes.
Yes. And it's not just local. So with 6 months attachment or internship, and I'm like, no, this is too closed up for me, because my parents were both civil servants, career. My dad worked for 27 years. My mom worked for 20 years. By the time she was retiring, she got into entrepreneurship. And so I went through campus because of the lessons and the exposure, and even being able to deliver things stationary to government offices.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you, Huba. You make us feel like we're not even thinking out of the box. We're not even close to the boxes.
Yeah, so I got, wind of now government procurement processes and how it works. But it wasn't fascinating to me because the space at which we were playing at was that we were middlemen, literally. We were merchants. Okay. So you convince government that you can be able to supply them with office furniture. They raise an LPO for you. You take that purchasing order. You go to market. If you have the funds, you just purchase at a specific price. You deliver, you invoice, and you wait for your payment. Now, it sounds very easy, that anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But believe you me, the bureaucracy in between.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And you find all sorts of personalities. So you'll find, for instance, an auditor standing in between your payment for 3 months.
Okay.
Yes.
That's bad.
So this auditor has taken back then,
the invoice.
We used to have invoices, physical invoices before IFMIS, and they would just hide them in their lockers.
And so they haven't received.
Yes. And every day you would be passing there and they're giving you stories until it is tracked to that person. And you see, these are older people, like my mom's age.
Yeah.
So when you finally find them holding your invoice, it's so frustrating for them. Then that's the time when they come up and start giving you all manner of stories. Oh, I've got a fundraiser. I've got this and that. I'm building a church.
Oh, wow.
So you're like, what does that have to do with me? So I was very frustrated around that time. And so it is at that point that we went out and got together with a group of AIESECers, AIESEC alumni. And we said we want to get into entrepreneurship and specifically into international business. So we founded our first company called Global Entrepreneurs Limited. We were three of us. And luckily at the time, we partnered with some other three AIESECers who were based in Norway, who had just finished their term in the national office. And when we had formed a company called Global Entrepreneurs, they formed theirs called Global Entrepreneurs International.
Wow.
And now they bought a stake in our company because they had money, we didn't.
And how old are you by now?
I must have been 26.
All right.
I was 26 years old. I was the youngest in the team. And because I was the youngest, I was the least exposed. So the first order of business was to expose me to the international world. So the company we applied for an exchange program with the Norwegian Peace Corps. We got the funding.
Nice.
And I went to Norway for 11 months.
This I haven't heard. How was that?
Yeah, so it was one of those things that, again, you learn through your, the work that you give into AIESEC. So the opportunity came about because AIESEC in Norway had applied for this same, Peace Corps partnership.
Yeah.
They got it for Norway. And at the Norwegian level, then they partnered with different countries. So they partnered with India, they partnered with Colombia, they partnered with Kenya. It was a big AIESEC global partnership, to enable students to exchange from what they used to call North-South, so from Norway to the South countries, and then from South to North. So when they did that, then they said, look, now that we have finished university, let's form our company and apply for the same. So they just did the same exact thing that they did when they're in AIESEC and actually got like double the kind of funding that they had applied for when they were in AIESEC. Why? Because they were no longer a student organization, but now they were professional. Yes. So that's how I landed my traineeship to Norway. So I went there to work for 11 months, and my responsibility was to open up products from Kenya into Europe and vice versa, trying to see what kind of services that we could be able to get and bring in Kenya and be able to make a profit out of it. Yeah. So two things happened during that time. Of note is that we managed to sign up a very big deal of supplying 20 food containers of macadamia from Kenya into Luxembourg.
And was taking over the whole exchange or how?
That was the exchange. We were exchanging amongst our own employees and our own partners.
Okay.
Yes. So because I was the youngest partner from Kenya, that's the reason why I was chosen to go there. But then other countries, other territories, we actually recruited. So we recruit, for instance, like from Colombia, we recruited an engineer who came to Kenya. And the reason why he was coming to Kenya was to work and ensure that the process of getting the macadamia was done in an efficient, in a way that would meet the EU standards. So he was actually based in the farm, in the factory where we were sourcing the macadamias from.
Big deal.
It was a big deal.
Getting some from Colombia to Kenya.
Yes, and then stay for 11 months. His name is Juan Carlo. Yeah, and we had, well, in Norway, I was staying with an Indian.
Hard for us. How was the accommodation? Were you getting paid?
Yes. So this was what you call a high level sort of a partnership or an exchange. So we used to get paid, a very decent amount of.
Now,
if I start saying that, then tomorrow I don't know who's gonna start following me. But we had a decent amount of of stipend per month while there. But the company took care of our accommodation and our transport within the country or locality. So we had, like in Norway, I had a monthly ticket that would allow me to get the bus, the tram, as well as the tube. So within a certain metro distance. And that then made my expenses really, really low. Yes. So at the time when I was there, again, because of the learnings from the time when I started working at GlaxoSmithKline, my mom's business was not doing very well. And I had now to come in and take care of my siblings' school fees. So I used to be paid at the end of the month and then go to Western Union. And 90% I used to go home for close to the entire time I was there. But it was a no-brainer for me to do this because I can't be living that kind of a life. And I've got my siblings here who are, need to be able to also sort their degrees out and ensure that, we have supplies at home. So it is, in fact, I remember something that was really distressing. My sister wrote an email to me when we were there and told me that our house was meant to be auctioned at the time because of a certain deal that had gone wrong. So she asked me, so what do we do? I told her, worry not. As long as I'm here, you guys can move out of our home, either way because it's going to be sold, and then I'll be paying for the rent. And then, everyone else that will be pulling together. It was quite a distressful time for our family. But again, because there's a God in heaven, it didn't happen. But, it's just one of those things that keeps you awake. It shakes you up. So you're there in Norway doing life as a 26-year-old and thinking, life is good. And then you get this call and then you're like, oh, I've got to come down. Yes. But even with that, imagine I still got opportunities now to travel in Europe because I had a Schengen visa. So you'd find me in Paris once every 3 months. You'd find me in Denmark. I just take the boat. It's very near. Yeah. You'd find me in Netherlands. You'd find me in just different, because the access to each of these countries is really, really easy. Yeah. You can use a train. You can use, of course, flight is the easiest, but it's the most expensive. So the student, you just backpack and you go. You just take the weekend off. You leave on the Thursday and you're back by Sunday, and you've seen Warsaw. You've seen, in fact, I remember first time I went to Paris was because I read a book, Dan Brown's book. Yes. And it gave this picture of how beautiful Paris is all about. Yeah. And so I said, I must visit all these places that this book talks about.
And how was that? Was it what you dreamt about, what you envisioned, what you fantasized? It was just like, oh.
It was almost word for word.
Oh. Wow.
In fact, in that book, it's a fictional book, but there's only one museum that was not in Paris, that he talked about, which was in Italy. But I went to the Louvre. The Louvre is. I went to Notre Dame. I went to Bastille.
I
went to Champs-Élysées. I was 26 years old. So that kind of exposure was such an eye-opener. Such that by the time my traineeship was coming to an end, my, being seconded in Norway was coming to an end, it was apparent that I needed to come back home and make our country, and at least take part in making our country be a little bit better. And thank God I came back when I did, because I came back when Kibaki was the president. And Kenya at the time had been classified as the most optimistic country in the world, because we had this president who believed in bringing back young people who had been exposed, who had been trained in different fields to just come and together, put in their skills, put in their knowledge to be able to make the country, as they say, great again. If it has ever, yeah. So we did that. But by the time I came back, the business had sort of just mellowed nicely, but the learnings of a lot of money at once were very high and very drastic for some of us. Because you see, we built the business off from a big, sort of donation or a grant. And then we were very ambitious to take on projects that were way bigger. We didn't know about it. And I'll give you an example of being overambitious. We've signed up with this contract, 24 containers, 20 to 20 food containers per month. Yeah. Out of the 24 containers for that year, we only supplied 2. Huh? Yes. That is the toughest, sort of experience or lesson in terms of trade that I've ever learned. What was the bottleneck? The bottleneck was we were getting into a space that was politically controlled. Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe only 2 people or 3 people at the time controlled the business. So we come to Kenya, we've been given this very big deal, and the first thing we do is say we want to disrupt. So farmers were being paid 3 shillings per kilo. We tripled that, 10 shillings per kilo. Do you think the people who were running this were happy? What did they do? Yes, and the way they removed us was a story of another day. It's one of those things that you think, like, this is the reason why this country is a bit held back. Yes, in terms of opportunity, because the people who've been profiting from this over the years do not want anyone to enter. Yes, so breaking through some of these traditional industries is very difficult. So from Norway, came back to Kenya 2 weeks and went to Uganda. In Uganda, we were running a timber business. We used to get sourced timber from hardwood timber from South Sudan and supply it to our...
You really have an international...
Yes, we did. And so we had a buying office, sales and marketing office in Mumbai. We used to source the timber from South Sudan, and the Norwegian office was like the headquarters of the business. So they would finance the operations, and then from the profits, then the idea was for each of the office to be able to get the returns at the end of the year, which never happened.
And would you say so the start of entrepreneurship? I mean, like, this is when you knew this is what I'm doing, or it was just from a point of view, like this is something you already founded and it was happening, so you just...
Yes. No, in fact, I've always been very clear. By the time I was leaving the university, I was gonna be an entrepreneur. So it didn't matter in what form or shape, but I knew that my life was destined into entrepreneurship. Yes, and I thank God that has been that, because after my experience in Uganda for it was 2 years. And in Uganda, we had, I would say, the time of our lives. Like, oh my goodness. For a young person with money or access to a lot of money in Uganda, it can be very, very harmful to a young person, because you are just thinking that you've reached where you started.
Yeah.
Like, or where you've always aspired to be. So we used to fly to Kenya every month on first class from Uganda for a weekend, just to come visit our families, and the company that was paying the bills. Visit our families, hang out with our friends, and on Sunday we are back to Uganda. Yes. And on Monday we are back to the office.
Simple.
Simple. But remember, we had gone through the hard, heavy lifting prior to getting this. So we did all that. We had very high seasons in terms of just supplying timber. I remember there was a time when we did 50 20-foot containers in 1 month. Supplied 50 20-foot containers. It was madness. Like, we made so much money that month. But remember, the finances were being controlled in Norway. So what happened is that the Norwegian office only used to sort out the operations. So where we, how we eat, the office, everything, even the living expenses. So we'd send a budget, we'd say this is the operating capital, and then they would send that. We would make sure that things are running. And then once the customers have paid, the Indian customers have paid, they pay all that money to Norway. And then it is the Norwegian team will say, based on the business, then logically, in Uganda, this is your share. In India, this is your share. So we were waiting for a bumper harvest at the end of that year, and nothing came.
Oh. What did you guys do? What was the strategy towards that? Like, did you guys?
So there was no strategy, because everything that we had worked hard for 2 years had gone. And it was not, we could not be able to hold someone who's in Norway accountable.
What?
Yes. Again, a very important lesson in terms of business and business partnerships. If you don't have certain things put on paper, then you have no recourse. Because the guy will just say, guys, the business has not made money.
You don't have revenues. This sounds...
No. The revenues were there, but he says there are no profits. We've actually been making losses.
That was wrong.
It was wrong. But you see, it was a tough business lesson for me.
Yeah.
And for us, especially on this side of the continent. And it is at that point I also got a lesson into business. Number one, it's very important to write your terms upfront. Even if you're doing business with friends, even if you're doing business with comrades from AIESEC or from, wherever, that you always save yourself first. And the way you do it is, if we get into an agreement, even if it's a verbal one, someone has to write it down and set the terms up front. Yes. Because if you don't do that, it's going to bite you. It won't bite the person on the other side. And it's important because of even legal ramifications. If something had happened, maybe there were tax issues then. Who would have been liable for them when, say, in Uganda? And you see, most of the money has been spent in Norway. So very difficult and trying period, because it was at that time that I realized that everything that we had worked hard for like 3 years, there was nothing to show for it. A lot of activity, travel, engagements, making logistics, but there was nothing at the back to show for it.
How are you guys getting money from Norway? There was no bank transactions, right?
No, the bank transactions were there, but what I'm saying is that there was no payout for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's the cut you own.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're supposed to make money from dividends, because we were business partners. So the people who we used to pay, the guys who were working for us, actually made more money than us, who are the business drivers.
The intermediaries.
Yeah, they're the ones who made money. So guess what? I'm coming from Uganda. That time I'm around 29. I'm coming from Uganda broke. Like, I only had 5,000 shillings to come back home. And when I'm coming back, I'm thinking to myself, where do I start? So I took a bus. That was the only money that I had. Remember, the company was paying everything for us. And then one day, stopped. So I call my parents. I tell them, guys, I'm coming home tomorrow. Now, my parents were used to me getting home from the airport by an airport taxi. Now I'm telling them I'm taking a cab and I'm going home. Again, at the time, no sort of relationships. I think at the time I had a girlfriend in Uganda. And the reason why I was attracted to her at the time was because she attended a Kenyan university, USIU. So she was more exposed than your average Ugandan girl. And, we had a good time, but then she decided to join this. I don't know whether it's a cult or there's a prophet.
Oh, okay.
Who doesn't own a church or run a church, but he runs a movement on a Tuesday. That's where they go for worship. So the reason why she broke up with me is because, and I kid you not, as ridiculous as this will sound, this someone who went to university in USIU, was because the prophet told her that I was not amongst the men who would settle with her.
A prophet who has no struggle.
Yeah.
And he's just walking.
Very famous prophet in Uganda. Yes. So I come back broke,
No
girlfriend, and all my peers at that time are now middle management, and guys are everybody has moved from home. Others are buying homes. Others are, even if you're renting, you're just in some good spaces. And here I am. Where do I start? So I read a book during that depressive season, because it was depression. Yeah, so mental health checks in, because I'm back to Nairobi, to my parents' house, where I grew up as a child. My parents are asking me many, many things. They're asking me many things in terms of what is the next step. I have no CV. I've just been an entrepreneur since I left the university till now. And so even writing a CV is a tall order. Nobody will give you work. So I read a book about, it's called, I think, Learning to Row a Boat. A very, a very subtle book. And that book inspired me to think about, on matters hope, that you can learn to row a boat, whether you're young, whether you are middle-aged, or whether you are an old person. All you need is just to have the mental foresight that it's just water, it's a boat. If you can just learn to paddle and not be afraid, then you can be able to do it. And so that is the one thing that woke me up from my depressive state, because I think I was at my folks' place for like 2 months, and thank God, because my folks had prepared for us life after campus for someone who's struggling. So there's a city council house somewhere where you're paying a minimal fee. So I had to live there, and it was tough. And back then, nobody used to talk about mental wellness. I mean, if you talked about being in a depressive state, people will say that, just go to Madare. Yeah, it was quite a daunting time for me.
And looking back, were there any specific people or any support system?
Yes, there was. So I credit some friends of mine. We are a group called Burudis. We went to the same church when we were growing up. And we've always been, since then, we've always been in each other's spaces. So some of my friends, or some of our friends in that group, the minute that they had my flight, And because I'd been with them, even those days when I would come home flying from all over, yeah, I would be, we would just be in each other's spaces. So they took me up and say, you know what, you, you don't have to go through this alone. Yeah. So on a Thursday, they would call you out, come, let's have a beer. Let's go for a concert. Let's go for a play. And that helped to just sort of redeem myself from this depressive state. So they helped me to get out of my parents' place. Most of them would even send me money just for fare. And now I became Mr. Oktumio fare. But I don't regret that. I actually appreciate that because it helped me to bounce back. And because I knew that something was going to give in at some point, I got a call on the third month from New York. A friend of mine called Alfredo, who's a Colombian, calls me up and tells me, Duncan, it was on a Sunday evening. So he said, Duncan, what are you doing with yourself? I said, right now, I'm just in between things. The thing of in between jobs. He says, I had a bad hangover. We had gone out the previous night and I was just smashed. Then he told me, Duncan, we've started a new gig in Kenya. We're looking for someone to just stand in terms of operations because the person that we are with is not delivering to our standards. And for that, we'll sort you $500 per month. I was like, when do I start to say, don't worry, tomorrow go to this place, you'll get a computer, we'll give you everything, access to an email, and on that email you'll find your contract. And that was how I got into the business that I'm in till today, which is in digital content aggregation, working with operators, telecom operators.
And this guy who called you,
Yes.
how did you guys know each other? How were you guys connected? I'm saying to the friend of yours
Yes,
from campus.
correct. So I met Alfredo in 2004 in Nairobi. Remember when Global Entrepreneurs International. So he was amongst the founders of Global Entrepreneurs International, working in Norway, first with the national office, and then was part of the founders of Global Entrepreneurs International. So he was sent to Kenya to come and, get the contract with us and for them to be able to buy shares in. Yes. But because we had been friends, so he was bought out by the Norwegian and he went to start his own company in Latin America. So his company is still in the space of, we call it premium services, SMS premium services. And right now it's top 5 in 15 countries in Latin America. So got me in first as head of operations. I was even, fast tracked in terms of operations, got myself into knowing who, the people involved in the business, especially the regulators and the operators, and ran with the company. They gave me shareholding, 20% after they had gotten, because business keeps on evolving. So some of their founders in Kenya fell by the wayside. And so I got shareholding. It was 20%, but it was okay for me. Yes. And we grew the business, organically. Yeah. We founded the first dating SMS service in Kenya. It was called Singles 5562. Are you single and lonely? Send an SMS to 5562 and find your soulmate now.
Did you ever try it?
Me? Oh my goodness. I mean, the reason why I actually ended up with my wife was because we met at a party. And then she asked me what I do. I told her I'm a pimp on mobile. And she was like, can I look at the profiles that you have for eligible men? I tried to hook up with an actual person, because sometimes you have these bots from committee and everywhere. And then when it didn't work, I presented myself and we got married 3 kids later. Yes. So it didn't work directly, but it worked indirectly. Yeah. Yes.
Now move from not having a job, not having a girlfriend, to
exactly
getting a good job.
Correct.
And then getting.
Yes, and getting my wife.
Oh my God, that was so good. And this is to ask as well.
Okay.
What would you tell young adults right now who are currently feeling either overwhelmed in that depressive state?
Yes.
They're confused about their path.
Yes.
And it's like it's feeling down because it's like have I not used my years well? Where do I pick up from here? Who do I talk to?
Yes.
Like what would you tell the one thing
Okay.
I need to shift?
Maybe not one thing.
Okay.
I'd tell them a number of things. But the most important thing I will tell my 20-year-old self is that you're only limited because of your state of mind. So even the Bible, then, allow me to quote it, but there's a verse that says that, the psalmist is praying and says, God, let me change my mindset. Because the power of the mind is very, 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 very big. The minute you have a conversation with yourself and belittle yourself, you're gonna stay there for as long as you keep on, having that self remorse. No one's coming to save you. Sadly, that is the fact. You can only be your own sort of savior. And so you need to wake up. You need to beat yourself from the slumber. And number 2, once you do that, once you have had a shift of mind, and that means the things that you internalize from social media, from books, from your friends, if you don't shift those things that you get to hear, then you'll realize that you will not start the shift towards realizing what it is that you want to do. So the first and most important thing is just getting out of yourself and saying, I need to shift my mindset, because the power of the mind is it's too powerful to comprehend. Once you do that, then write yourself a note and paste it on your walls, wherever that you sleep, and say this, if for instance, you want to tell yourself, I want to be the best dancer. I want to be the best accountant. I want to be the best creative, and put that and let that be what you sleep, last thing that you sleep, sing, and the first thing that you wake up, sing, because it will influence your actions and decisions. And once, so it's important to first get out of that pity party, because no one is coming to save you. Then once you've gotten yourself out of that mindset, then the things that you indulge, the things that you invest your mind in are very key. So now you've gotten a positive mindset, you've got a goal, you've got a mission. You need to paint a picture of success. How does success look like? Then you start looking around you. Who is successful? And you say, oh, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that chick. I want to be like that leader. I say, oh, good. So you start following them, start looking at how they live their lives. And as you're doing that, the world will conspire to make sure that there is a break. It will give you a break. Your mind attracts the break that you're seeking. And once that happens, Elsie, the rest is history. Things will connect. Things will connect. You won't even know how they connect. You'll attract the right kind of people who will come into your life and, give you a push. You will start, being involved in communities. And these days, you guys are lucky that there is virtual communities. People don't know that those communities exist. But if you just go to the internet, instead of Netflix, just go and look for communities and spaces that interest you. And from there, you'll get into, you'll even be doing volunteer work in some of these spaces and say, because I want to be, in say, in the aeronautical space, let me go to Wilson. Let me just take a walk there. Let me walk into one of those companies and say, guys, I'm here. I just want to know how, flying planes or working, how it is to work in an airline. And, someone will actually see the courage that you have. This person has the audacity to just turn up and say, yeah, I was just at home. And because I cannot just stay at home, if I start writing to you, you probably will never ever respond to me, but I've turned up. Volunteer. I'll give you a story about how I started emceeing as soon as we left the university, because that's one of the things I do in my line of business. So when I'm not into digital content for kids, I am a professional MC. I started by emceeing. In fact, she's now deceased, but it was a lady who was in Moi University, but she was in Moi University 4 years before me. So I met her in our church. And because we were in this church group, the one that I'm telling you, Buru Digs, and we used to do acts, we used to do fashion shows. We even are the ones who came up with the concept of Miss Buru. The first beauty pageant for Buru was in our church. Yes. Yeah. So she was getting married and she said, I want to give an opportunity to these young people because I can see the energy. I can feel the energy. And we said, we've never done this before, but we can try. I said, there's no problem. Give us a program and let us run the program. And we ran it. And it was such a blissful wedding that at that point I was like, I can do any wedding from that point. So that was before I actually went to the university. So I volunteered to do MC work and then went to the university. When I finished university and my international escapades, came back home. That's when most of my friends were getting married. And guess who was the MC? You. Naturally. I remember I MC'd for 4 years for free. Pro bono. Because at the time, I didn't have money to support them financially, but I had a craft that they needed during their wedding. Yeah. So I would volunteer. I would do the MC work. And you see, because I know them, it was even more intimate. Yeah. It was just, I would give it my all because, these are my friends. And for many of the AIESEC alumni, I was in their wedding committees. I met a lot of their friends and I emceed most of their weddings. And because I did this, it was very easy for me now to professionalize the service. Yes.
And it's something that you like doing, actually. You're passionate about.
Exactly.
And it's a whole process of things will find you. Like once you set your mind, like the one thing will just start attaching themselves, things will just start eating up.
Yes.
That was so good. And this as we close the last question.
No problem.
What are your hopes and dreams in the coming decade? Turning 45, going on.
Yes.
What's the one thing you want to do?
So I'm reading a book currently called Atomic Habits. Fantastic book. And it has helped me to sort of shape my next 45 years, if God gives me that long.
Amen.
And one thing that is very clear is that I am driven to get into the space where I will be relevant for the next 45 years. So now, moving even in my businesses, slowly getting into alliances and partnerships that are future driven. So looking at technology, but within the AI, Prism, and, IoT, and being in that space for, just being able to, in that automotive, but intelligent automotive space, as well as into renewable energy, because ESG is going to be a big deal. It is a big deal now, but it's going to be a big deal. We're not going back to fossil fuels. We're just, so I'm in that space, deliberately, actively engaging, selling, reading, researching. And the reason why I want to do that is so that I can be able now to create a pipeline even for my kids, so that they can, by the time they are getting to campus, they have options where some of us had to create them. I would want to create them for them, to create options for them. And they necessarily don't need to plug in what I'm doing. But if I'm a good influence, then I know that they'll be able to continue with my legacy. So that's that's how the future looks like.
Wow.
And I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it for you as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
This was so good. I in my mind, when you always talk about your story, we never hear this other side. And
Yes.
it's like hearing you state this authentic self. Your story brings one word to my mind.
Okay. Yes.
Your ambition from campus all the way to when you started your own business, to 26, to traveling.
Yes.
So after traveling to UG, the thing going, down the drain, and then you bouncing back up.
Yes.
The word for me right now is
Resilience.
And like, again, you light up every room that you walk into. I'm so happy that you are my first interview. And like, I just feel like from here it's just so nice. Also for you and Johanny. Yeah. And all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
I will still get you another time. I also want to talk about another angle of your 30s now. Yeah.
Anytime. I'm hoping, glad to have been, called upon to be the first. Yeah. And
hopefully you see also.
Why not? Why not?
Good,
yeah. Anytime. But a chance.
Per hour. In charge per hour.
Per hour.
Per hour.
From your mouth to God's ears. Yes.
So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Feel free to check out past episodes if you haven't already. You can follow this podcast on Podbean, Spotify, Boomplay, iHeartRadio, Player FM. Like I've put it across the board. Additionally, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's LCT, ELSIETY, LCT, to find more additional content. Remember, the whole point is to empower young adults to navigate the wild ride of their 20s all the way through their 30s, through shared stories, practical advice, and lessons from seasoned counterparts. Your wisdom is wisdom in Jesus. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.